All right, well, hello, David. Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed. And also, happy GIS Day, I heard, November 13th, 2021. Happy GIS Day, and also, and welcome to my interview series called Few Minutes, Few Questions.
Yeah.
And to give a little bit of an introduction about myself, my name is Sudharsan Gopalakrishnan. I am a junior at the Quarry School in Dublin, and I'm part of the GIS Leadership Team. And some things that I'm very interested in are computer science and also environmental science. All right, let's start. First one. So, what is GIS? Do you think many people know about GIS?
From my experience, I found that not very many people do. But I think that I will say it's becoming more and more prevalent. However, especially with COVID, with the famous John Hopkins dashboard, that's definitely, I think, helped.
Okay. And what do you think GIS really is, in your words, your interpretation?
So I'll quote my colleague who says there's no such thing as GIS, which I definitely believe there is no such thing as GIS. It's more about incorporating geospatial data, so location with regular data, right? So if you go to, let's say, the drugstore to buy cold medicine or whatever, there's your business data is that you went to buy a purchase, but the location isn't where. Really good. If you haven't seen it, I definitely suggest Walgreens does a really good. They have a good flu tracker map where they really demonstrate that, and I think the John Hopkins one as well demonstrates that there's no such thing as GIS, but it's more about location data, right?
That makes sense. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. All right, next one. So, as you know, today is GIS Day, November 13th, 2021. So, is there anything that you want to share about this day? Any events, any cool things that are going on today? Why today is really special for GIS?
Yeah, so it's actually GIS Day is on Wednesday. What would that be, the 16th or something? This week is geography. I think it's Geography Awareness Week is what they call it. But GIS Day specifically is on Wednesday. And I know my company is doing a GIS decorating contest. And really, I don't really think of GIS. I haven't really participated in a GIS Day in the past, or I guess in the near past. It's been more of a when I was younger in high school and on the National 4-H GIS team, I presented on a couple. But for me, those are really, GIS Day is great to get awareness around geography and kind of efforts that we're doing. Specifically more so, especially within what I see like cities and counties. I know there's a city near me that's doing I think it's a little GIS Day event, but really good for awareness to incorporate the general public and get them more geography aware.
Okay, yeah, that sounds very interesting. Very interesting. All right, next one. How did you get associated with GIS 4-H? How do you get associated?
So I've been involved in 4-H, since I was like in elementary school. And then I went to, back in, 2008, I went to a GIS Day event in Southeast Iowa. That was put on by a colleague of mine that was doing mapping stuff at the time. And we did some geocaching, and she showed us their project that her 4-H group was working on, which was mapping a cemetery. and some other historic coal mine towns. I thought that was really cool. So I pursued that. I got and then in the 2009, my 4-H club that I was a part of, that I worked with my mom to start, in Central Iowa, we got an ESRI grant, so it was great. And then, so we did some mapping projects here and there. And then I was joined on the National 4-H Leadership Team, or the National 4-H Geospatial Leadership Team, in 2009 to, I believe, 2010. And that's really what got me pulled into GIS as I was a freshman. I went to the UC, and then I went to the UC, was it 1 or 2 other times while I was in high school. A couple of them I was interning with my county, and then I went to Northwest, or I guess backing up a little bit, a really cool experience that I had, I think, because I was in 4-H, and specifically around GIS, was I got invited to the 2013 White House Science Fair with a bunch of 100 other students from across the country. Ironically, I actually had I was on actually a 4-H robotics team here in Iowa, and one of our students, she got invited out to the 2008 Science Fair as well with her first Lego League team. So I went to represent 4-H and the mapping component. Fortunately and unfortunately, I didn't get to present my mapping project out there. But that was, I think, for the best, because I got to walk around and see all the other cool projects and meet all these other really cool people from across the country as well. And actually before that, a couple weeks before that, I think, I attended the 2013 National 4-H Conference in DC, and my roundtable topic that I was a part of was citizenship science, which was perfect at the time because I knew a lot of geospatial projects that were doing citizenship science type stuff, keeping track of wildlife and all sorts of things. And we actually presented to the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy at the White House as well. So I kind of got to go to the White House a couple times in the course of a month, which is pretty cool. And then the White House Science Fair. And then when I graduated high school, I went full-fledged. I went to Northwest Missouri State, where I graduated in 2019 with my bachelor's in Geographic Information Sciences with emphasis in emergency and disaster management. So focusing on the emergency and disaster management side, but then also the GIS side. And while I was there, I did internships with the Iowa Department of Transportation for, probably 4 or 5 years. And then I interned the summer of 2018 at ESRI. And then after that, I went and actually, while I was still before I graduated in 2019, I started with an engineering firm as an embedded consultant doing GIS stuff full-time at the Iowa DOT. And then just this past summer, I left to switch to a different geospatial technology company where I'm doing some pretty interesting things.
Wow, that was very wonderful. I especially like the science fairs and all of that. You mentioned you going to the White House to, all those scientific projects that you did. Those sounded really, really interesting for sure. The next one, there's actually, I think it's really a continuation. So what's really your current involvement in the 4H GIS GPS leadership team, and any more stories you would like to talk about?
Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is I'm getting back involved with the team, contributing what I've learned in my professional experience and expertise with the students on the team. I'm also, let's see here. So I'm contributing myself as a mentor, but then I'm also trying to pull the team and get the national team anyway, and help them with professional development type experience. Also within some various projects within emergency disaster management areas. And then I'm trying to also get a Iowa delegation started. So I think I may have been more near the end of the last Iowa delegation. So I've actually, my colleague down in southeast Iowa that got me interested, I've been having a couple lunches with her. And then also a former student that now is working up in northwest Iowa. I was on the team several years before I was. I'm also in contact with him too, to trying to get him engaged, and some other people just engaged around the state to trying to get to regrow this.
Well, that sounds really, really wonderful. I like that. That sounds really, really cool. All right, the last one is, what do you think the youth can do with the GIS for social good? So, any advice you would like to say for, any new people that are, for example, joining the leadership team, or just anyone in general, any advice, what youth can do for social good with GIS?
Yeah, so you can do a lot of things with GIS. When I was at Esri, I did some mapping around homelessness within the LA area as a sample project. I've done a bunch of other projects off and on. I know the one that you guys are working on right now is a food mapping project. That's a really great one. You can really do a lot with GIS. I know me personally, I got involved, right? I stayed in GIS because of jobs, right? Like, there's always going to be jobs within GIS. And I definitely say for if you're looking for a job, if you're a student, definitely take a look into GIS as an area to learn and to explore, because I think definitely jobs are growing and they will always be around, and you can do a lot with it. You can go really as technical as you want, or you can, the cool thing with GIS is you can kind of pick different paths, wherever you kind of want to go. If you want to do on the analysis side, the data visualization side, I'm more on the technology side of supporting and deploying enterprise level GIS technology solutions for clients and customers right now as a GIS architect. But there's really, the sky is the limit when it comes to GIS, and there's always going to be jobs. So if you're looking for a really good area that has a lot of different subject areas, or even if you're not necessarily interested on the technology side, I know I've met, many people that are in conservation type work that use GIS to map out boundaries of their conservation areas or other research type project things. The sky, like I said, the sky is the limit.
That was awesome. That was great advice. Thank you so much for that, David. So
yeah,
that's it. So those are all the questions. So thank you so much for, once again, thank you so much for agreeing to let me interview you. And again, happy GIS Day, of course. And just thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, no problem.